olds.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fun, but it was a long drive. And I say after the flood, I lost a bunch of my instruments and I had to stay here, and they kind of moved on without me. I mean, they would take me back if I asked, but like I say, with the 2-year-old, I think I decided just to stay home with her. So I'm going to start homeschooling her and keep doing lessons, and hopefully I can start bringing in some income through my music sometime soon.
Definitely. So some artistic questions here. How has your art changed your life?
I don't want to make it sound too big, too grandiose, but I mean, pretty much everything in my life is attributed in some way to me being a musician and me being an artist or something. My wife, for instance, I met in high school in band. She was we were both percussionists, and she played snare. She was 2 grades lower than me, and we were high school sweethearts, and that was 10 years ago. We got married 5 years ago and got a 2-year-old now. So all of my friends I met in band or through some other musical outlet. A couple of the jobs I've gotten have been through musical connections. So it's been very, very important to me. And outside of kind of the material things, it opens your eyes to a lot of things. I see other cultures differently. I see other pieces of art differently than I would otherwise. So it's definitely very enriching. And I would encourage anybody to take up some kind of art. In any way, drawing, painting, dance, film, whatever it is. I would definitely encourage that because it totally enriches you.
Awesome answer. I love it. Yeah, that kind of would segue into the question, why do you think art is so important for the world?
Yeah, that's, like I said, you're gonna meet new people. You're going to experience things in a different way. Also, I forgot this earlier, but when I dropped out of university the first time, I went to culinary school because I couldn't take the idea of not having an education. So I have an associate's degree in culinary and culinary arts. So I'm also a cook, and I've had a bunch of restaurant jobs, and that was a lot of fun too. So food is another kind of artistic outlet for me as well.
It is culinary arts.
It is culinary arts after all. Yeah, everything. Like I say, it just enriches you. You understand more about people's culture and people's history. I can tell. I'm from the South. Are you originally from Florida?
No, I'm a Michigander.
My father's from Michigan, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I was born and raised here in Louisiana, but you can tell a lot about somebody by going have dinner at their house. You know what I mean? Like or what they're playing on the radio, if they're playing anything at all, or if they have a TV on or whatever else. So, I mean, no matter where you look, there's some kind of artistic kind of stamp that people are putting out there and, telling a little bit about themselves with, like I say, what they have on the radio, what's on the TV, what they cook for dinner. So, art's very, very important.
What advice do you have for up-and-coming musicians, composers?
You have to keep being hungry for knowledge and keep pushing yourself forward. In terms of being creative, I find deadlines are super important. That was one thing with this film project, because I've had other things in the past that I've kind of tried to do off and on, but I was more productive during the park, even though there wasn't a real strict deadline.
Yeah.
But getting correspondence from you saying, hey, this is the new edit, I want music here, and then I'd sit down and write it, and it came out really, really fast. I tend to work better with deadlines, but I think most people do. I think having a goal and having a time frame helps you out. So first thing is don't be lazy, don't be lethargic. If nobody else is setting a goal for you, set one for yourself. And I would normally say read. Like everybody says it's good to read, and it definitely is, but there's other resources too. There are podcasts to help out with music theory or music history. There are a million YouTube channels, so just whatever it takes to be learning something different. Do that. And of course, practice your instrument.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like the homework assignment at the end of the lecture, I'm sorry, but you got to practice your instrument.
And where can people find you online?
My YouTube page is the best way right now. It is Satchmo1991 at YouTube. It's an old handle that I've had Like I said, I was born and raised in New Orleans, so Louis Armstrong was a big influence on me. And I picked up the online handle of Satchmo like way back when, and I've thought about changing it, but at this point it's like all over my email and all over my all of my accounts, and so I'm just gonna go with it. So it's Satchmo 1991. My name, though, of course, is Erik Herrmann, and you'll probably be able to find me like that on SoundCloud or on a personal website sometime soon.
Definitely. And in the credits of the park.
And in the credits of the park.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Mm-hmm. I appreciate you talking with me and letting the audience know about your music and your art and what you're doing for the world. It's great. We need more of that. Right?
Thank you so much. It's been a great opportunity. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all the help with with the park being so helpful and giving me that opportunity as well. So on a personal note, thank you.
Oh, thank you for scoring the movie. It's got a whole new life with that music in it. You know, so that's another character that people sometimes don't understand.
It really is.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing for art's sake.
Thank you, brother.
Take care. So there he is, Erik Herrmann, composer, musician extraordinaire. And what could we take away from this interview? Well, I like what he says, that art totally enriches you. But at the same time, you have to be hungry for knowledge. And in keeping with music, I guess with any art, if you want to stay productive, if you want to get goals accomplished, you have to set goals for yourself. You have to practice. You have to learn. Just don't be lazy. That is one big trap I know I've fallen into many a times. It's like, do I really want to do this? I've hit a wall. I've hit a creative block. Do I keep going? Do I push forward? Sometimes it's good to step away, but sometimes it's also good to push through, because then if you just keep writing or keep painting or drawing or figuring out a composition, you might break through, and there's suddenly a floodgate of creativity coming through, and you have to answer that call, get creative, get to it, and make sure you check out and support our artists just like Erik. Remember, his YouTube page is Satchmo 1991. I will have all the links to his stuff in the show notes on the Artist Matters webpage. And if you're just finding us out, please check out the other artists featured in the last 8 episodes. I'm so grateful that these people are coming on and sharing their stories and hopefully inspiring the creative in you. We all have that little artist inside of us. And hopefully this show is one way to get that creativity out of you. Just dabble, paint, write, draw, sing, play an instrument. You never know. Something great will come out of it. And as I mentioned earlier, Erik will be back in next week's episode with the lead singer of his band, Slow Apollo. Joram Rubik is the guy's name. It's a really good interview, and you'll learn a lot more about Joram. And then Erik will come in at the end of the interview when their paths finally cross and they're able to start the band, Slow Apollo, which you can check them out on YouTube. So anyway, I am not going to end the show with my traditional end credits music. I am going to end with the end credits of my movie, The Park, composed by Erik Herrmann. So enjoy, and I will see you next time. Until next we meet, this is Alex Rudy saying, no matter where you go, let your creativity flow.